Good afternoon. I guess it's afternoon. Yep, 1 o'clock. Hope you're having a great virtual day. Things are great here. Got Will upstairs earlier on a Zoom. Angela's in her room at Bloomsburg, and I'm down here recording videos, and the FedEx guy was stuck in our yard. And all of us were overloading the Wi-Fi, so it was a disaster. I hope your day is better. It's crazy. Anyway, I said that I would post a video today because I think tomorrow you're scheduled to have a test. Maybe the test is today and tomorrow's typing day. I can't remember, but anyway, never take a test until we go over the problems for the chapter so that you're surely know what you're doing and you're doing it right. Okay, so let's look at chapter 15. I did the work together with you in the video that I posted early in the week. The chapter is on completing the worksheet. So the trial balance columns are always given to you. So you've got all your totals, top to bottom. What you have to do is you're adjusting entries. And I'm going to look at, actually, well, we can do this one. We did this one together on the video, so work together is done. So here's the on your own. And I'm in the book, page, it's 15, 1, 2, and 3. They're all done on the same worksheet. So I'm in the book on page, I think that's 371. My cheaters, yeah, 371. So the first part was to record your trial balance columns. So that's all done for you. So then you jump to page 377 in the book where you do your adjusting entries. So the first one said for the work together that we did, this is the on your own. So we're looking at the business name is Mueller Company. Supplies office. So we started the fiscal period with $7,106 in supplies. The book tells us that we have $1,920 as our new balance. So we subtract those two from each other to come up with this number, $5,186. That becomes our adjustment. Remember, the book's never going to tell you what the adjustment is. You need to calculate it. So the second one, supply store, we started our fiscal period with $7,602. The amount of inventory and supplies is $3,310, which makes the adjustment $4,292. Same thing with merchandise inventory. Start the fiscal period with $296,000, end the fiscal period with $279,000, hence the credit of $17,000. And the last one is prepaid insurance. We start the period $6,480, end the period with $2,940. Difference between the two becomes your adjustment. Now your adjustments go in those 4 asset accounts, and then they go on the second part of them is the debit part, and the debit for merchandise goes in income summary. The debit for prepaid insurance goes in insurance expense, and the 2 supplies are the supplies expense accounts. Add those up, of course they're going to equal because the debits and credits equal. Now you have to carry that over to complete your your worksheet. So which is on page 384. So 384 in your book says, all right, now it's time to carry over the information. So you're going to your cash, your petty cash, your accounts receivable. They don't change. You're just pulling those amounts over. This is where there's changes. So these amounts are going to be the amounts that the book told you where the balance is. Or you can do the math again. You've got to take and subtract the credit from the debit to get these balances. Then your accounts payable, sales tax payable, and your capital don't change. Your drawing's the same. And the other capital account is the same. Sorry, you have two owners in this business. So those stay the same. Your down here at the bottom, a little bit different. Your income summary has a debit balance. Sales has a credit balance. All the rest are debits, all your expense accounts. So you add up your debits, you add up your credits, you add up your debits, you add up your credits, and you have all these numbers. They don't equal. They're not supposed to equal. But the difference between this column and this column should be the same as the difference between this column and this column. Notice 88,362. That is considered then your net income for the period. Your sales are larger than your expenses. That's a net income. If that was reversed and your expenses were higher than your net income, or higher than your sales, sorry, your number would go here and it would be a net loss. Same thing as this. You would have a net loss. Your numbers would be here and here. You want these numbers to be on the outside. That means net income. These do not need to equal each other, but they do need to be balanced. All right. Here was another part of the transaction that it asked you to plug in all these numbers. I think I said, if you saw me in class, I said you don't have to do that. It's just basically plugging in numbers and helping you with how to do your calculations. Okay? If you did that and you want to check your work, certainly you can pause the video and check your work, but I want to go on to do the application problem. So application problem 15.1, and these start in your book on page 386. You have your Drake Park Supply Company worksheet. You have all of your accounts, account values given to you in the book. So you put them into the worksheet. And then they had one adjusting entry started for you to do one adjusting entry, and that was for merchandise inventory. So you have the amount we started with, then the book tells you there's another amount, you calculate, and you come up with this as your adjusting entry, 16,379. The credit goes in merchandise inventory, the debit goes in income summary. In 15.2, it asks you to calculate all of your adjusting entries. So here's the amounts, what accounts get debited, what accounts get credited. You can stop this at any time to check your work. And 15.3, you were to actually complete, based on those calculations, you were to complete the worksheet. Okay, so here is the completed worksheet for 15.3. You've got your adjustments. Remember, they're not given to you in the problem. You have to calculate them. You've got your credits, you've got your debits. Your first two columns should be equal. Your adjustment column should be equal. These columns should not be equal, but the difference between the debit and credit columns of the income statement and the balance sheet column should be the same. If they're on the outsides, it's a net income. Otherwise, it would be a net loss. And those were the only problems I had assigned for Chapter 15. You did not have to do the mastery problem. This chapter was really just a review so that we can move on, and we're going to do our first simulation starting next week. So make sure you check and your understanding before you take the test for Chapter 15. Good luck. Email me if you need any help. Have a good day. See you on Monday. I don't see Chris on Tuesday, so I'll see you on Monday.